Chris, congratulations, a 3-1 win. Just sum up that performance for us.
Yeah, it was a tough one. I knew what to expect going off his first game. I knew he wasn't going to play like that again. And yeah, I was just up for the challenge. I just stay focused and don't beat myself up. Don't put myself under any pressure. You seen when I started missing the doubles, I knew I would get another chance, and the 1-2-2 was a key moment for myself after he missed the ball for the 1-2-1. So yeah, it was a kind of had to go moment, and yeah, luckily for me, it went in.
Yeah, we saw the celebration after that finish. Big roar from you, big turn to the crowd. Was that a moment really you thought, here we go, I've got this game now?
Yeah, of course, and I don't give it very often. It's just key moments where I feel people ruling us out. You can hear one or two in the crowd, and yeah, it was kind of for them, because big shots like that, it does. If you kind of give it, it could kind of get into your opponent as well. So yeah, I think only certain times I do that, and yeah, I thought I needed to do that and bring a little bit of me out of it.
We know last year ended in bitter disappointment here for you. Sorry to remind you, but how did you put that to the back of your mind and go again? And how good is it to be back and winning on that stage again?
Yeah, you can't dwell on things like that. I've seen in the past when I was 8-2 up against Rob in the match play and lost that game, I was back on that practice board the same night in the hotel with Nathan. So yeah, it's kind of, you just want to prepare for the next moment. You don't want to dwell on things, because if you keep dwelling, you could only go downhill. And I kind of put that aside straight away. And yeah, I've been practicing hard. Obviously, my floor game's been brilliant this year. I put all my work into the floor game, and that's where it boosts your rankings as well. So yeah, I'm happy with where my game's at the minute, and hopefully I can keep pushing on.
Josh Rock or Reece Griffin up next for you. What do you make of that as a tie? Obviously, it's going to be a potential tough clash coming up.
Yeah, it's a banana skin. Reece played a great game there. Once he got a leg on the board, you seen how calm and comfortable he made it look, and he'll be relishing that challenge because it's his first time up there, and he'll want to do a job, and it could change his life. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. Obviously, just chilling with my feet up at home, and yeah, I'll be ready for whoever comes out of that one.
Your beloved Newcastle playing right now. Were you aware of the score when you're up on stage?
Yeah, I was checking every break. I kept on asking Graham, who's a big Newcastle fan, I just to give me that little motivation, seeing them do well makes me want to do well, and yeah, hopefully I can catch that on Match of the Day tonight.
Chris, congratulations on the result. Mid-game, there was a little wobble. At that point, was there any flashbacks to what happened last year?
No, not at all. To be honest, I always have a little wobble. It's just my game. If I can hit a double, I'll definitely be up there with the best of them. And it's just, you can't practice that at home, because you can't practice being under pressure. And I keep telling people, I've worked so much on my finishing and that, and you're not under pressure at home. You've got to have that like match practice. And yeah, it does come. If it goes, it goes. And it's just one of them. I don't dwell on things. I like to just get on with the next one, and yeah, I kind of got that chance again the following visit after he missed, and I took it the next leg. So you don't want to put yourself under too much pressure.
You touched on what a great year you've had on the floor, and you went to Minehead as the #1 seed. Was that a different kind of pressure going into a tournament as a #1 seed?
Yeah, it was pressure, but they were never going to have me as favourite for the competition. I knew that. It was just a big thing for me to go the full year as the #1 seed, and I kind of, it's one of them to tick off the list. And yeah, I've been there, done it, and yeah, it didn't go to plan. I didn't play it to my standard, but playing a great friend as well, it was hard. But yeah, I came away from that, and like I said before, went straight on the practice board to try and put it right for the big one. And I've come here and I've done a job, and like I say, I can go back, enjoy Christmas, and be prepared for the next one.
When you look across your years in the PDC, it's kind of been all or nothing. It's either been good on TV and not on the floor, or vice versa. How do you combine the two and go to that next level?
Yeah, it's hard. Like when I was in the Premier League, my floor game wasn't there. I had a year off the Premier League last year. I picked my floor game back up, and I think this today was, other than the World Series, was only my second game I've won on TV all year. Which my game on TV is normally there all the time, and it's just disappointing. So it is hard. I would rather have a steady year on the floor and brilliant on TV, but it doesn't work like that. It's hard to combine them, and when it does combine, I'll be up there. Cheers, mate.
Well done, Chris. Why do you think there's been such an emphasis on your floor form this year? It's been absolutely superb, but maybe not translated quite as well to the TV as you would have hoped.
Yeah, it's just dedication. I've put the work in. I'm more focused on the floor. I want to win. And on TV, you're not there all the time. It's kind of we see we're playing on the floor quite a lot. There's a lot of pro tours, and it kind of gets you in the mood for it. And playing on TV, it's literally just one game at a time, and it is hard because obviously the big stage, the crowd, and yeah, sometimes it goes and sometimes it doesn't. It is hard to explain, but no, I have really put the work in this year, and it's kind of showed on the floor, so I'm delighted with that.
You're in a really sort of open section of the draw. There's a lot of big names that maybe aren't in quite so good form, and the names slightly further down the list are in good form. When you look at the other threats in that section of the draw, who do you see as the threats that you maybe come up against?
To be honest, you can't look past the next opponent. Obviously, to me, everybody can beat everybody. I know a lot of people say I think Kevin was a shock to beat Michael Smith. It wasn't really a shock. No disrespect to Mike, it wasn't really a shock because he probably had the chance to beat him last year as well, and he's in good form, Kevin, as well. So you can never write him off, and I don't see that as a shock. And I'm literally just focused on my next opponent, either Josh or Reece. I'll be up for that, and you can look at the draw if I can get past the next round. Cheers.
Chris, when you lost in Minehead, you posted on social media showing your frustration, which is quite an unusual thing for you. Just how tough has it been, your TV form, and how has that affected you leading up to this tournament?
Yeah, it is hard because, like I say, I expect to do well on TV. I have done well in the last few years, and I'm normally a stage player, and this year, honestly, I can't tell you what's been up with my game. It just hasn't happened, but it's one of them. You can't dwell on things like I touched on before. You've just got to move forward, and what better way to bring your best at the best. So yeah, I'm fingers crossed I can have a good run this tournament.
You've made the quarter-final here the past 2 years. When you are coming into a big tournament, defending a lot of ranking points, does that add more pressure?
No, I don't bother with the defending side. I've done that in the past, and obviously touching on the match play a few years ago, I was looking at rankings, and it's totally spoilt my performance, and I've kind of dropped down the rankings. So I've just kind of forgot all the defending and whatnot, and just kind of enjoy your darts and just don't put any pressure on. I had people saying, "Oh, if you win this game, you jump Michael Smith." I'm not that bothered. I just want to win the game, and if I do win, then fair enough. But you can't put any pressure on yourself. You've just got to go out there and enjoy it.
You mentioned how tough it is to replicate the pressure on the stage in practice. Is there anything that you can do or players can do to try to create pressure situations, maybe sort of side bets with mates to try and simulate somewhat that environment?
Are you trying to get me banned? No, it's honestly, you have a laugh and carry on. You do when you're practicing with your mates. You always have a laugh, and that kind of relaxes you. So you can't do that up on the big stage. You're all up there by yourself, and it is hard. It's all or nothing, and you've just got to stay focused and try not to let anything bother you when you're up there.
Brilliant, Chris. Thank you.
Cheers, man.
You touched on your gap out of the Premier League. Obviously, this is probably the widest it's been for some years. You've got the likes of Dideka and Bully Boy who have both already out of the competition. Is that something you look at and think, maybe if I could get a run into my first semi-final, I could get back in contention?
To be honest, I wasn't looking at that. I think obviously if I get to the final, then you might have a shout. But honestly, I'm not bothered about any of that. There's a lot of people saying, who's in, Mike's in, Mike Dideka's in. It doesn't bother me. They can talk all they want. I just want to play darts. I'm gonna want to go up there and win, and hopefully I can keep on doing that and then give them a reason to put us in. I'm not looking any further forward.
And I know you've had a few performances on that stage that you've been disappointed with, but looking at the names that have knocked you out of the competition, there's never been someone lower than you that has done it. On on form, shall we say. Looking at the draw, does that give you a bit of hope that you can probably go and push that first ever semi-final?
Yeah, of course. I've definitely got the game to do it. My aim each year is to better what I've done the previous year, and I'm hoping to do that this year. Obviously, I've put last year behind us, and I'm ready for the challenge, and I'll be relishing the chance to play whoever comes out of the next one.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well done, Chris. I know it's 12 months ago and this is a different tournament. I'm just intrigued to know, how did you put what happened in the quarterfinal last year behind you? Because that sort of defeat could destroy a player, and yet you've come back this year and won a few tournaments on the floor. How did you put it behind you?
It's easy. You just kind of switch off and you don't watch anything back. I kind of turned that. I started watching that Game of Thrones the other day, and I turned it off at that point with the game that put me 4-0 up and lost by I just switched it off, and yeah, I haven't seen the end of it. So it's kind of things like that. You don't want to dwell on your performances. You don't want to see where you went wrong, and you've just got to forget about that and just move on to the next one.
Thank you.